Colorado swag. My Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holla, get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. Man, I swear I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag is pushing 180. Speeding past competition, see you later, baby. Colorado Army with soldiers like the Navy. And voters where we stationed, patiently awaiting. When I hit the field, it's so hard to behave. I'm Colorado swagging as the crowd do the wave. Look into my eyes, I can tell that you afraid, cause you know we finna hit ya. Hey, you on your own now, why you watching the official? You just better hope you make it to the next whistle. And we ain't playing with you can get it anytime. It started at the scrimmage, we gon' win it at the line. My Colorado swag in the middle of the ring, throwing blows, knocking down team after team. I think they like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holla, get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. Man, I swear I think they like my Colorado swag. Have you ever seen around? I'm Boulder, Colorado. Buffalo is what I am. All the teams come and follow. When I start hit the field, the opposing crowd swallow, cause they know I'm about to kill. He gon' feel that tomorrow. Whole team full of warriors, got me feeling tribal. Big 12, here we come. We ain't worried about a rival. If you want it, come and get it. We'll wait for your arrival. When you hit this frozen field, man, it's all about survival. Pray you make it, yeah, you better bring your Bible. Crack back, blind side, flat line, no revival. Get them buffs, mess them up, we say we got them. If we don't, then we'll get them. When we see them, then we have them. They like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holla, get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. Man, I swear I think they like my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holla, get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. Man, I swear I think they like my Colorado swag.
Memphis track, let's go.
My Colorado swag. My Colorado swag. My Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holla, get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. Man, I swear I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag is pushing 180. Speeding past competition, see you later, baby. Colorado Army with soldiers like the Navy. And voters where we stationed, patiently awaiting. When I hit the field, it's so hard to behave. I'm Colorado swagging as the crowd do the wave. Look into my eyes, I can tell that you afraid, cause you know we finna hit ya. Hey, you on your own now, why you watching the official? You just better hope you make it to the next whistle. And we ain't playing with you can get it anytime. It started at the scrimmage, we gon' win it at the line. My Colorado swag in the middle of the ring, throwing blows, knocking down team after team. I think they like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holla, get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Big 12, here we come, we ain't worried about a rival. If you want it, come and get it, we'll wait for your arrival. When you hit this Folsom Field, man, it's all about survival. Pray you make it, yeah, you better bring your Bible. Crack back, blind side, flat line, no revival. Get them bucks, mess them up, we say we got them. If we don't, then we'll get them when we see them, then we had like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holly get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. Man, I swear I think they like my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag, cause when I'm in that flag, I don't really know just how to act. And when I'm in that goal, you know I'm acting bad. Holly get a bus with my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag. I think they like my Colorado swag. My Colorado swag, my Colorado swag.
Welcome into DNVR Buffs Postgame.
Let's
Presented.
fucking go!
I can't believe it. They did it. Oh my goodness. What a night. Bill Walton didn't make as many animal sounds as I was hoping, but
The
outside
Buffs
of
are
that,
going to the Pac-12
spectacular.
Championship!
Spectacular.
Thanks for the memo, guys, that we were going to scream when the stream started. Just standing here looking confused.
It was just vibes.
Wow.
Dude. Just follow the vibes.
This is, though, presented by the Colorado Exos. They make a lot of what we do possible. They're a rugby team right here in Colorado, and they're taking awesome athletes, turning them into rugby players, trying to get them onto the U.S. national team, which trains at the same facility as them in Glendale, Infinity Park. It's awesome stuff. Follow along with DNVR Rugby on Twitter, the podcast, all that stuff. And now, Buffs. Biggest takeaways. Colorado's headed to the Pac-12 title game.
Woo!
Wow.
Biggest takeaway, and I don't want to take anything away from the kids, but I really just can't get past this Pac-12 Coach of the Year garbage that has unfolded before us, that got absolutely put to bed tonight. Andy Enfield cannot hold a candle to Tad Boyle as a basketball coach. There's no competition between them. The Buffs have now beat them 7 times in a row, 3 times this year, when Enfield has, the lottery pick. The man couldn't coach his way out of a box compared to Tad Boyle. And the fact that he was named the Pac-12 Coach of the Year is an absolute atrocity. And the truth is, the two far more deserving candidates will be facing each other tomorrow night in the Pac-12 Championship game, while Andy Enfield is sitting at home wondering what the hell just happened.
What happened is they got beat.
Yeah.
They got beat bad. And I guess bad maybe isn't fair. It was a close game down to the end, but Colorado looked really good.
People are asking if you are drinking, Ben, for super chat purposes. Nope, Ben has to drive all the way back to Boulder.
I will be drinking.
All right,
Okay.
pass all drinks to Henry.
You what? No.
Henry,
How?
you and me. All right.
Okay, Allie, if Allie's in, I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so how does
I
that
have
work?
my
Let's explain. If you guys give super chats, Allie and I drink.
No, well, let's calm down because we already have 2. How many? That's a limit of 3.
One shot
So
per
one
$10.
There are limits. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I want to paint a word picture, okay?
Wow.
So
You're not very good at that. But
No,
we'll-
but-
we'll
No, but
buckle
no.
up.
Let him,
so
you got to build the confidence
so
up.
Last season, I was back in Ohio for the
Oh, no.
Colorado-Dayton game.
I'm
and
sorry.
I had plans to go to that game because that was in Chicago. And they fell through, but so I'm sitting in my basement drinking because that's what you do in Ohio. And when Deshan Schwartz hits the 3 to win it at the buzzer, all I feel is just sheer joy. Mm-hmm. You fast forward to today, I have not felt that way about a sports moment, about anything else in my life, until Deshan Schwartz tonight has a putback dunk with 3 seconds left. Everything just hit me differently.
We're going to pause right there. Put back dunk or pass off the front of the rim?
It was a putback dunk. and honestly, like, I had to get that rant out of the way because it was just really rattling around in my brain.
We all needed it.
But this is so much more about these kids and the way that they played this season. They absolutely are so gritty. They're so tough. And I'm so happy for Deshan Schwartz because this is a kid who was really hyped up. And I think, on the whole, hasn't quite lived up to that hype during his career at Colorado.
All right,
But
people,
man,
I'm going to grab
the
the
kid
shots. Hold
stayed
on.
home. He became a Buff, and he has now 2 lifelong, lasting memories, and honestly, a legacy. Like, he left himself a great legacy at the University of Colorado, regardless of, what happened in between. The buzzer beater against Dayton is incredible, and somehow he one-upped that tonight with higher stakes in March. The tip dunk slam to seal the win, or at least give them an opportunity to win. It's so awesome. I couldn't be happier for the kid, and I couldn't be happier that the kid who made that shot was a Colorado hometown kid. It's the way it should be.
And real quick, his presence of mind, too, making the play of his career, making the play of the season, and he starts to do the flex thing, and he immediately turns around. It would not have shocked me in the slightest if he got teed up, if he would have sat there, flexing a little bit more. Because, for Christ's sake, he just had a put-back dunk to pretty much send you to the Pac-12 tournament. And if he would have held that, championship. If he would have held that for a second or two longer, you really could have seen a tee. So just a combination of basketball intelligence and presence of mind, but also just athleticism and straight-up awesomeness. Yeah, that
They look
should have
good.
been the title.
And I mean, we could talk about Deshan Schwartz all night. We could talk about whoever all night. McKinley Wright, if we're talking about legacies, my goodness. Another game that, I know I'm not going to forget it. I know you guys aren't going to forget it. I know there's a bunch of people watching who are not going to forget what he did tonight. I don't know where this ranks among the McKinley Wright games. And to be frank, it really doesn't matter. The point is that they're headed to the Pac-12 Championship. But to take that shot to the head, to walk off the court the way he walked off the court, with the arm around one trainer, and then to ask for another trainer for the other arm, you're just like, it doesn't look good. And I think we all had the same thoughts, which are, I hope he comes back tonight. If he doesn't, I hope he comes back tomorrow. And if not, I hope to God he gets to play in the NCAA tournament.
I think everyone, wherever they were watching this game, had the same moment of like, okay, we're excited that the Buffs are winning, but there is a dark cloud hanging over this game, and you're just sitting there and it's kind of silent. And the only thing I like, this is what I do in moments of silence. I look for some sort of positivity, and I looked at you, Henry, and I said, but wouldn't it be so McKinley to take that shot to the head and come back and finish off this win for them? And that's exactly what it's like.
Ugh.
His career is a storybook. It's another chapter in what has honestly just been a 10 out of 10 career for him at Colorado. And he still has work left to do, and they still have more to work with. But this game tonight, in terms of showing up and the stakes, I think it's the best McKinley Wright game that there is. And there's a couple things that could have been better here and there. You obviously would have been better if that shot would have just dropped for him, and Deshan Schwartz didn't need a tip dunk it, although you took another second off the clock in that case. So I just, when I think of his career, this is what I'm going to come back to, because it encapsulated everything, right? It had his whole bag on offense. It had him absolutely working his ass off on defense. It had him taking an elbow to the head, looking like he was done. Like, we're not thinking like done for the game. We're thinking like how long is he going to be in concussion protocol? Somehow isn't concussed.
I can't believe
because he's an Iron Man.
I can't believe that he's back playing basketball.
And he comes back in, he hits 2 threes, and it's just like that was the full McKinley Wright experience, all bundled up into one incredible semifinal win.
Let's get one thing straight. He's going to wake up tomorrow with a headache.
Oh.
That's for sure. But
He's got time to recover.
I was producing the Avs game, so I didn't see what was happening, and then all of a sudden he's being helped up and out and walking to the locker room, and my heart just sank. I was like, no, this is not how this happens. Not after what these guys have been through. Please, no.
And it wasn't.
Thankfully.
He came back. It's just incredible. And, he came back. He played really well. 4 of 6 from 3, above 50% from the field. He dropped 24 points with 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Just such a well-rounded night. But the rebounds, the couple of times he went up in the air and just jumped over guys who are so much bigger than him. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I have to interrupt you because people are asking for it. Okay, so there's 3 shots for you and for me that we're going to take. But we're spreading it out. So the people calm down. This is going to be his first one. I'll give him a second one after the break, then the third one. There's
People
a lot.
love seeing us drink.
They
Yeah,
do.
they really do.
Yeah, they do.
Do you
But
think that-
people are like, drink. Here's a super chat. Where's your
know.
drink? So, okay, I'm about to give it to Henry. We're going to take it. Then it'll happen after one of the breaks. For the
It's
other
like
ones.
a really cool thing how this all works, where it's like people get to watch for free because advertisers will just like pay for all of it, but they'll actually pay money to see us drink, which
Well,
is
then
pretty
it's
cool.
like a-
anybody,
yeah.
It's
anybody
like a
who-
super cycle where they're like, then people pay to drink the stuff that
Yep.
was provided to us by our advertisers.
It's a great
beautiful-
cycle that
it's a
we've all
beautiful thing.
decided.
Anyone
we
who watched
enjoy.
the tailgate would pay to watch Henry take a shot.
Yeah.
Faces he makes are.
Yeah.
Wait for me to get back over there.
Okay.
Tequila, eh?
Oh.
Nice.
Not even a question. Ali and I same wavelength.
Fair enough.
All right, hold on. Hank.
Is there salt?
No.
Okay.
Grow up. Also,
Uh,
don't try to like rap like. we need to- Let's do
that would have been one of these.
Yeah, it would have been awkward.
All right, this is for Silver Buff Super Chat. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you, Silver Buff.
Go Buffs.
Cheers.
All right, Hank.
Cheers.
Shout out Silver Buff. He and I are waiting on the McKinley Wright throwback jersey from DHgate. Supposed to ordered it this week. Supposed to get in probably by the end of July or August. So
Silver Buff, I know you said whiskey, but I do not drink whiskey. So.
Neither do I. Mostly because I drink tequila. But back to the Buffs.
All right.
Oh yeah, the team that's headed to the Pac-12 Championship.
Well, I want to say too. I mean, we were talking about the McKinley Wright game after the UCLA win. I mean,
Yeah.
the UCLA game to the second to last regular season game, he willed that team to victory, 26 points. And again, it's one of those things where you don't think he can top it, and he comes out and tops it. And it just felt to me, my thoughts when he went down was it just felt like Nate Landman. This is a huge game, and there's your best player, and there is your leader, and there is, any adjective you want to throw out there, and he is getting helped off the field by trainers. And unfortunately for Nate Landman, it was a more severe injury, but for McKinley Wright to come back out there, it shows how much he cares about this team, how much he cares about his teammates, and that he's willing to, put his body and his health on the line to go out there and win. He was out of the game, and he still comes back in there flying around the court, diving on the floor. I mean, kid's just special.
Yeah, and I think for all the credit Kin deserves, how about the way his team responded when he went out? The defense that they played was unbelievable. Keyshawn hitting those 2 threes, running the point. I mean, the layup when he got to the basket, maybe his play of the season. I mean, the deep threes are nice, and he's had a couple of those, but for Keyshawn to step up when McKinley Wright is unable to play, I mean, I don't know that means that Keyshawn has now arrived, but what it means is there is something going on with Keyshawn because he stepped up when he was needed, and that is a trait that you want to see.
So real quick, Sully here saying, I hope it doesn't snow so I can drive to the bar and watch the game tomorrow. We will be here.
We will.
So definitely the Buffs game will be on. Come hang out. It's going to be a good one. Of course, drive safely if it is snowing and all that stuff. And we are following all COVID-19 protocols. But yeah, come hang out. Last call's at 1. It's going to be a good Saturday night.
It's going to be a great Saturday night.
Remember when we sat here? It was right after they had blown the game to Cal. What are you doing?
I just found
They matched up with Arizona. They almost blew it, and they pulled it out, and they won. And I sat here and said, this team has been through hell, and they're just different now. And that's exactly what you've seen the last 2 nights, because this is a team that didn't collapse. And there was just something about that Arizona game where it felt like they just matured. They just became built different. And these last 2 nights show you exactly why. When adversity punches this team in the face, they just throw back twice as hard. And it's incredible to watch. I mean, you saw it with USC bringing this game all the way back to 2 at one point. That was with, 10 minutes left?
Yeah.
And then the Buffs go back-to-back threes from Jeriah Horn to take it all the way back out to 8. And then they come all the way back and tie it. And then the Buffs just make the bigger plays at the end of the game. That's just who this team is. They're so mentally tough. They're so strong. They believe in each other. They trust every other guy that's out there, and it's really, really special to watch. And I'm glad it's working out this way, and I'm glad they have a chance to play for a Pac-12 championship tomorrow because, like I always say, anything can happen in March. But this team is just built for this.
Johnny in the comments saying, I get the same vibe from Kin as I did from Spencer Dinwiddie and Chauncey before him.
Absolutely.
Some great company.
Yeah, I mean, and I keep saying, doesn't matter what the the NBA outlook is. When it comes to a college basketball player, he's just as good as those guys.
Absolutely.
Truly.
And you guys,
to put an exclamation point on that, he's standing out there tonight with a 7-footer who can do absolutely everything on the court. He's going to be drafted in the top 5 guaranteed of the NBA lottery, and he just went toe-to-toe with them. Like, it's unbelievable. He's out there skying 40 inches into the air to get rebounds. Like, it's so great. It's just, I'm just happy he's a Buff.
so you guys didn't watch the post-game pressers, of course, because we went live, but all the comments want you guys to talk about the fact that Enfield has been complaining in the post-game presser that Mckinley Wright pushed right in the back, and they didn't call it, and that was the game, and that's
Good.
why USC lost.
If that's why, good. McKinley Wright could push whoever the hell he wanted in that last play. I mean, for Christ's sake, what even was his name? Number 1, the guy who, elbowed Kin, could have knocked him
Goodwin?
out cold.
Yeah.
Then 2 possessions later, when they're on the offensive end, Jeriah Walker boxes him out, and, there's room for him at a middle school dance for, them 2 in the Bible, and he just flops on the floor and gets the call on Jabari. It missed me with the whole, McKinley Wright fouled at the end of the game. Screw that.
Listen, I just don't understand how Andy Enfield is speaking with a big fat L in his mouth. Like, it just doesn't. It defies
seriously.
all physics.
Someone's asking real quick if you could just explain the drama between Enfield and Tad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it started with
Quick. He said quick deep dive.
Okay.
Quick deep.
Quick deep dive.
Quick
A
and
shallow
deep.
dive?
Well,
Shallow dive. Tad Boyle called out Enfield and USC for getting caught cheating. The next game, USC was beating them late. They called a timeout with how much time? Do you remember how much time? it was left?
seconds.
Under.
12 seconds left to put in the entire walk-on squad, and then didn't shake hands after the game ended. And that nice, fun little flex that he had that night was the last time he ever beat Colorado in basketball. It's been 7 straight since then. So that kind of started this rivalry when really it just came from Andy Enfield's own insecurities about getting caught cheating.
Yep. And I said on Twitter yesterday, like, basically I asked if anybody could give me a ringtone of Bill Walton making the quacking sound that he was making, and with the intent to like use as my alarm in the morning. I would like to make the same request for whatever Andy Enfield had to say after the game tonight, because that would also be something nice to wake up to tomorrow morning. Just hearing Andy Enfield explain.
Here's something from your coach of the year. Said yesterday that the key to slowing down Colorado was limiting them behind the arc. And he did a fantastic job. Colorado tonight, only 12 of 24 for 50% from three-point land. So Andy Enfield, really props to you for being able to scheme your way out of that one defensively.
Kin apparently was asked about those comments, and he said, "We won. I got no comment. I got a seal. That's it."
Okay.
Love it.
I usually
Can't
hit
believe-
snooze. That can be the second alarm.
I can't believe that that absolute loser wanted a foul call on that play.
Seriously.
Great defense from McKinley.
Seriously. Let's take a quick break.
Cool.
While we take this quick break, you guys get your questions in. We're going to go through all of those later. If you're not watching on YouTube, watch on YouTube. It's better. And if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and all that stuff. Also, check out the DNVR.com. I know a lot of people who watch these aren't members with us at DNVR, but there's a lot of awesome stuff that you get if you join us. First of all, you have access to all of the written content. You also get access to the Discord, which is where a lot of us hang out during the game and not during the game and talk Buffs. You can also talk like skiing or cooking. There's so many awesome channels. And I think right now, what's the special? If you sign up for a year-long membership, you get a free t-shirt and a free mask. And I think you also get one of the CBD.
CBDs,
Yes. So it's a great deal. Make sure that
hand
you
packaged by me. So
Okay, well, we're trying to get people to do this, Ben. Stop undermining me. Also, Hassel Cattle Company, one of our incredible partners. They're located in in Texas, and they are the best place to go to for farm-to-table Wagyu beef. They call it the blue-collar Wagyu because it is the best Wagyu beef that any man or woman can afford. It really is good stuff. They have hamburger that's won awards. They have steaks, obviously, sausages, bacon. It's just a whole bunch of really good stuff. So make sure you check that out and use the code. 1 second. The code DNVR10 for 10% off any orders over $200 and you receive free shipping. Check them out. Promise that you will not be disappointed. Also, Manscaped. Manscaped is one of our favorite partners because they give us an excuse to talk about our balls in front of a whole lot of people. But on top of that, they also just make really good products. The Crop Preserver is a daily must-have. If you are not using that, then you are just not living the life that you should be living. What it does is it stops you from sweating because it's ball deodorant. That is great. The Crop Reviver is great. The Lawnmower 3.0 is great. That's how you take care of the hair down there. It's just all good stuff. And with the code DNVR, you can get 20% off and free shipping from manscaped.com.
Okay. I've got more things. I'm sorry, guys, but the chat is going off and everyone is going in on this Enfield BS.
Good.
And Pat Rooney coming in
Pat Rooney, let's go.
Yesterday, Enfield said big key for his team was slowing CU at the Arc. Buffs went 12 for 24, Coach of the Year.
Coach of the year, my ass.
Coach of the year. Congrats
all
on
the comments are like,
honestly,
woo!
just keep feeding me with salty
I want an alarm made out of it.
I will tell you all.
A man could survive for months on end off of simply Andy Enfield tears.
He is being so salty.
There's more you need than just salt and water.
Here, I'm going to give you a tequila shot, and you don't need any of the salt because we've got it all right here.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
Please, just keep feeding us with all these quotes. I want to hear them all.
Oh, my goodness. Let's jump ahead and talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. Okay.
Wait, I feel like we haven't talked about everyone enough yet. Jeriah Horn. We haven't given him his due yet.
This is for Michael, who's going to be here at the bar tomorrow.
Let's go, Michael.
Don't be scared away by some fake storm, but also drive safe.
Yes. Both those things.
All right, ready?
Yes, I am. Cheers.
Do you know how awesome it would be if tomorrow we come on here and we are talking about the Pac-12 champion Colorado Buffaloes?
This team just deserves it so much. I want it for them so badly. There's just certain teams, especially in college, with how cyclical it is, and you just lose guys and they're in and out. Some of the teams are just so much more likable. This is the most likable Colorado basketball team I think I've ever seen. They're so, I don't know, I just saw this picture, maybe I'll send it to Allie, of look at this, Tad is hugging McKinley and Evan, and it's just oh my God, I love them so much. I'm so happy for them. I want amazing things to happen for them, and they really have that opportunity tomorrow. So yeah, Jeriah Horn.
Jeriah Horn. I mean, the shooting is what makes his night more often than not, or at least that's what grabs the headlines. He knocks down all the shots, but there's so many things he does that just don't get enough attention, especially defensively, and especially when you're matching up against guys like the Mobley brothers, and you have Jeriah Horn guarding them, switching on to them, and sure, it's not like they shut down Evan Mobley tonight, but the defensive effort that they put forth was something that I was very impressed with. And as much as Jeriah Horn was important to them rebuilding that lead and everything they did late in this game, he was also really important throughout the game, just keeping these guys in check, stopping Evan Mobley from getting 30.
You know
really
what's
good stuff.
interesting is the defensive adjustment and philosophy. So last night they're playing Cal, and Cal is motored obviously by Matt Bradley. So the intention of Tad Boyle is let's just negate him. Eli Parquet shuts him down. Tonight, completely different. They said, you know what, Evan Mobley, we'll give it to you. We'll let you, as USC, we'll let you work the ball inside, let Evan Mobley get your shots. We're just not going to let anybody else do anything. Eli Parquet, 11 points for Taj Edey. You know, again, just pretty much negating a guard on the floor. And for them to just pivot what they wanted to do, but still execute it damn near to perfection. I mean, yeah, they only won by 2 points. Doesn't matter. Great showing again from this defense. Great coaching by Tad Boyle. Again, I mean, we come
Coach
back
of
to
the
Tad
year.
Boyle. What a job to pivot in what the game ended last night, 12:30, local time, or I guess 11:30 local time for them. So you've got less than 24 hours to whip up an entire new game plan for USC.
Oh, buddy, they already had a game plan. It worked twice already.
It's just incredible stuff.
Yeah. And Jeriah Horn was
Nope.
so awesome.
The E is silent, in case you haven't heard.
Yeah, well, he puts the E on the end of it for me.
That reminds me too.
Thanks, Jim.
That reminds me that somebody responded, and I will give credit later, but somebody responded to one of the tweets tonight about Jeriah Horn and called him the silent assassin. And I'm not sure if that started as a Bill Walton thing, because that really sounds like a Bill Walton thing.
does.
But props to whoever came up with silent assassin, because
Silent
that is
assassin.
incredible.
It is. I
Bye, Rob. Good night.
told you guys last night that there was going to be some, what is it, progression to the mean or positive regression to the mean for shooters. And it happened for Deshan, and it really happened for Jeriah Horn. And it could not have come at a better time. He has such a knack for big shots and big moments. Not necessarily like buzzer beater type of shots, just, oh man, we could really use a bucket here. And then it's just a three from Jeriah. Like, you're just hoping you get anything. You'll take 2 free throws, and he bangs a 3, and you're just like, wow. Those back-to-back threes, when they had cut it to 2, is, to me, the biggest stretch of the game. Really just halted their momentum, and I just want to make sure that he gets his due, because, to me, he's the second most important player on the floor tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And what Jeriah did kind of aids to, RK, what you talked about. Just 2 weeks ago, we're sitting here after the UCLA game, and at that point, most of the seeds have been locked up, and so we're talking Cal-Stanford. And I said, I'm not sure I'd want to play Cal. And you said, I'm okay to play Cal as long as they don't hit some late shot or they start to feel like this team of destiny thing.
Yep.
Well, Oregon State might have had the same philosophy, and you're looking now at a Colorado team. Look, Oregon State, credit where credit is due. Fantastic win over UCLA and another fantastic win tonight against Oregon. But I think the emotional boost that Colorado gets over a close win against a rival, a team where these players know how much these coaches don't like each other. That is going to be more beneficial than pretty handily beating Oregon, in my opinion.
See, to me, I actually think it's kind of the opposite of this. I think they would never admit this, but mentally, I think this was a little bit of a Super Bowl for Oregon today against Oregon State, or for Oregon State against Oregon. Like, you're going up against your in-state rivals. They're the heavy favorites. It's a us against the world type of thing. And it's just very easy for players to get this. I mean, you should have tunnel vision on your opponent, but just like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for, And so I think there's a potential for a little bit of an emotional letdown tomorrow from Oregon State. Whereas Colorado, to me, and you could, someone who covers Oregon State would probably say the same thing about them. To me, I think Colorado showed up here with one plan and one plan only. That's win the Pac-12 championship. And I just don't know if that's exactly what Oregon State was thinking when they got here.
I think that's fair. Obviously, you don't overlook them because that is just a bad recipe.
Well, yeah, no one's getting overlooked in a championship game.
Agreed. But, I mean, I will say, do you expect Oregon State to shoot over 50% tomorrow again? I don't think so. They
No
did
one's
it
shooting
tonight.
over 50% against this team.
Agreed. But yeah, so you have that. You have like Ethan Thompson got really hot late, and that's what really propelled them to winning. Do you take that as, well, he might just play that well all game? Or That's, I don't really know. I mean, there's just a lot of ways that this game could go. I know that Ethan Thompson scares me. I know that Jared Lucas scares me.
Jared Lucas scares me.
Silva is a big dude in there, and I'm curious how that's going to go. But
here's where it comes down to. I mean, you want to look at the one reason why the Beavers won today. There is a specific stat line. The rebounding score. Oregon State 37 to Oregon, I believe, only 23. If you're Colorado, you can't allow for the rebounding margin to get, that dispersed. And I think you love what you have for Colorado to negate that with athletic guys like Jabari Walker who can just go and get you aboard. Also, athletic guys like Mckinley Wright who can vault 60 feet in the air and practically, grab a rebound over USC's trees, as well as guys like Evan Batty and Dallas Walton. I think that is an area that you love. Again, this matchup in the post, who's going to come out on top is whoever can really, punish the ball down low. Oregon State, they're hot. 10 of 19 from deep tonight, over 50% from the floor. Can they keep it going? If they can, you kind of chalk that up and say, go you Beavers, because that's going to be so tough to beat. But I do agree, Colorado's defense should be able to hold them.
I love this situation because the worst case scenario here is the Pac-12 gets an extra team into the NCAA tournament, and that might steal a bid from a team such as Colorado State, although down 13 with 6.5 minutes left, their dreams might be coming to an end tonight anyway.
Yep.
But if the Buffs lost to Oregon State, it would really accelerate the chances of them not getting in. But at the same time, Pac-12 ends up getting an extra school in. And the other thing here, I think Wayne Tinkle is my second favorite coach in the Pac-12. Like, I'd be really happy for him and just that school or that team, I should say, getting in. Obviously, I want the Buffs to win, and I'm just going to go ahead and call my shot right now. Buffs win by double digits.
Oh, my God. No. Knock on wood, please.
Nope.
Oh, I'm doing it for it. No, I'm not making any bold predictions like that. I'm too nervous. I'm a scared boy.
You are. It's okay.
I feel good, though. I mean,
Michael said to go look at his wiki page, Enfields, and I don't see anything.
I'm going to assume it
says
his
title, Tad Boyle's Whipping Boy.
Oh!
Yeah.
Didn't look over there.
That's actually not his position, Allie.
I thought that's what it was. That's why I didn't see it.
Well, he's very good at his job.
Yes.
I was
also, yes.
While we're talking,
I was reading through all of this, and I was like, "Where does it say Tad?" Because I thought it would say like
Son of Tad Boyle.
Parents Tad Boyle. That's a
That'd be
personal
good.
life. That's what I thought.
Not
would be
that
there.
subtle.
Nope, just over here.
Wow,
Lovely.
that is good to see.
while we're talking lines real quick, put back dunk, covered the spread, 1.5.
Oh, you're right.
I was told to just take the money line and not take the point spread, but that was after I had already used my DraftKings profit boost on it. So, you know, I rolled with it and feeling good now.
Well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for me. It was a good day. It was a good day at the sports book, as they say.
Absolutely.
It was a really good day at the sportsbook. And it could be another good day at the sportsbook tomorrow.
What are you looking for the line?
No, I'm trying to find this ad read. The problem is the keyboard gets pulled up.
Why don't
and so
you
the
prepare
scrolling-
this stuff before?
Can't I
It's
tee that
an
up so
overconfidence thing. I think because the opportunity for the like smooth transition into this was there, and so you have to take it. It's that time of year again. Conference tournaments are tipping off. Bubble teams are making their final push for a bid, while the top seeds are preparing for what they hope is the long run. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is putting new customers in the center of the action. So bet $4 on an underdog and win $256 if they win.
Yeah.
That simple. That's bet $4 on an underdog in select college basketball games, and if they win, you collect $256. The bank is open. I don't think I've said DraftKings yet.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Justin was talking about this big man for Utah State earlier. He completely undersold him. It
Really?
literally looks like an NBA player is playing with a bunch of children.
But hey, now my guy Raleigh Worcester.
Yes. I'm telling you, this guy.
That's him right there, 24.
He has like 15 points and 13 rebounds, and they just can't do anything about him. It's actually kind of sad to watch.
Is it?
Anyways, go ahead. A little bit.
That's the emotion you're feeling as you watch?
Slightly, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code DNVR when you sign up to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset. That's code DNVR to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. All right.
You're damn right, Elliot. I love the shit out of this basketball team.
Yep, he does. Questions. Keep throwing those questions in, and we'll keep answering them. Allie, should we just start at the top?
Sure. Give me 2 seconds. We have a system, I put the title card up.
Yeah. Oh no, it was kind of nice just to take a second there, though.
Yeah. Colorado State still has a little bit of life here. I'm interested. They've got my attention.
Hey, Ben Palm. It's an 11-point deficit. When does that become insurmountable based on
an 11-point lead would not become a lock until I believe about 46 seconds left in the game.
That's what your matrix says, or your matrices.
My matrices, yeah. Maybe you know what I think my first tattoo should be. All of those scores. When is elite safe in college basketball?
Yeah.
And I'll just get it tattooed somewhere on me.
You
so
could
I can
make it look like
reference
abs.
Because
it'd be like a grid.
Ben Palm's matrices sounds like his groupies.
Okay, so
If you walked into a party with 4, he's like, these are the matrices.
That does sound like
this isn't a question, but Chris J really wanted us to stop talking about basketball because he needed to know more about
my
date
God.
spots.
I can't believe you even brought this up.
Wow. Silverbuff was asking for this on Twitter as well today. Date spots.
So you gave us Gross Reservoir. What's number 2 on the Ben Palm rankings?
Dude, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not too versed with the date spots in Boulder, per se.
Oh.
I mean, if we're talking...
We don't want to hear about Ohio.
Well, exactly.
No.
You know what? You know what is a great date spot? Target on 29th Street.
How so?
I am a slut to just walk around Target. Love it. It's just the best.
That's it.
So if you bring
the end of it.
if you bring a girl there, it could be fun. You're like, oh, look, there's a clearance rack, and you look at the clearance.
What section would you take her to first?
Well, no, the key is you got to go everywhere. You
got to go to that dollar store section first.
Well, absolutely. And that, when you walk in,
Get some little magnet
it's right
clips.
on the side, yeah. And you go to the girls' clothes section. She can look at some stuff.
Okay.
Number 3, Ben Palm.
No.
Oh.
Colorado State
Elliot.
got it to 7.
Elliot says, obviously, tweeted at you boys earlier. I'm EJ on Twitter if you haven't put that together. But
I like
Deshan
EJ on
Schwartz,
Twitter.
X Factor, the Buffs goes as he goes, which is what you talked about yesterday, right?
We all saw it happening right in the beginning of the game, right? He hit his first 2 shots, and we were just like, X Factor.
X Factor.
It's X Factor
X
season.
Factor. And what happened?
And the Buffs
I'm
won.
He won them the game
I'm pretty
like
sure-
an X Factor does.
When I looked at you, Ryan, during that, after the dunk, I'm pretty sure you just said X Factor.
I think he did too.
That was a whirlwind of emotions.
I still have not totally processed this whole night.
Okay, next
either.
question. Michael says, what time is tip-off tomorrow? I believe it's 8:30. Yep.
ESPN.
Do you think they have replay review in the Mountain West?
No.
I don't think so either.
Denver JW says, revote on Coach of the Year and Sixth Man.
I mean, there should be...
The
Buffalo should have had all the awards.
Yes. Let's also redo Pac-12 Player of the Year. And what other ones are there?
Why
Most
do...
improved, Eli Parquet. Or, no, Defensive Player of the Year, Eli Parquet.
Yes.
Player of the Year, McKinley Wright.
Yes.
Most improved, Maddox Daniels. I don't know. We could keep going.
No. I said Maddox Daniels would make a 3 tonight. Unfortunately, he did make a jump shot.
Moderately deep 2.
Yes. I was close.
Yeah.
So was he on a couple of 3s.
All
Yeah, he
about
was
Player
close.
of the Year. I don't know how you can watch McKinley Wright's last 6 games and think he is not this conference's best player, the most important player to his team. The list goes on and on. The Buffs basketball account tweeted out a video, shoulder to shoulder, and it's the locker room. McKinley Wright comes in there and jumps into somebody's arms, and it's just like, he's the heart of this team. He is the Player of the Year. I'm going to start to tear up.
I know. I was just... How many times did you watch the video, Ben?
What? Not enough, because we're doing a freaking show. I'm gonna go save it and just hang it on my iPad above my ceiling when I go to bed tonight and just go to sleep watching it.
All right. Peter
Perfect.
said we have to make sure when USC visits next season that we get a "Who's Your Tatty" chant going.
God, I can't wait
Who's
to be
your
around
daddy?
fans.
Oh,
Ryan
yeah.
Green from CBS 4, he tweeted I can't remember what it was, but it was something about breaking Trojans, and it was hilarious.
It wasn't that good, but I love Ryan Green.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was like a 6 out of 10 tops.
But
I like Ryan Green.
You know,
he's a 10 out of 10.
If
Or
Ben's
like
a
9.
slut for Target, I'm a slut for 6s.
Okay. Well,
6 out of 10.
6 out of oh god.
It's the tequila.
Yeah,
we're
slut
gonna
talk.
move right
No,
along.
yeah, ban the word.
Jim says, only an Avalanche fan, but came here to congratulate the Buffs. Good luck, Cinderella's go dancing.
Respect, Jim.
Thank
A
you,
little
Jim.
off
Thank you,
on just
Jim.
the understanding of what's going on here, but I appreciate the love.
Let's go dancing.
Like, we're going dancing.
True.
But let's keep it going. Like, let's
Yeah.
dance for a long time.
I would like to dance like marathon dancing.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
down.
dance some marathon
make- charity.
dances.
Let's make this like senior prom, y'all. Let's all get dressed up tomorrow.
You would love that, I know.
You would
Damn
love to wear his
blazer.
blazer. His blazer. That's what he wants to wear. All right, Rob says, all right, gotta crash. Thanks for putting in the work tonight, guys. Really appreciate it. Go Buffs.
I really like that this is back-to-back nights that we're saying goodnight to Rob.
Yep.
And I hope that this is just a thing that continues.
I really like when people say thanks for putting in the work when we just watched sports and then talked about it.
Yeah, I do
I
a
had to
lot
drink
of the
those 2
work.
shots.
Oh, that is true.
I
You
do
did
a lot
great
of the
job.
work. Y'all just sit there and talk. Brian says the Pac-12 Championship game has the 2 basketball teams who play as teams the best. It will be a fun game.
Yeah. Yeah, no one plays as good as a team as the Buffs, though.
Glad we clarified.
Real quick,
1
actually,
Okay.
Colorado, 2
I want-
Oregon State,
real
but
quick
sure,
on
2
that.
best.
The Mckinley Wright pass to Evan Batty in between 2 defenders, and Batty missed the layup.
Yes, he did.
But that was as the shot clock was winding down. I just needed to say that verbally. He is such a good passer.
I might rewatch this game from tonight, tomorrow morning, just to get the vibes rolling.
Can I
I
come?
will.
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
DNVR watches Buffs versus USC 12 hours later.
There's gonna be a snowstorm. We'll get cozy up. God, this
Colorado
is
State game's going down to the
It's
wire.
a good game. I really hope they cover the 4.5.
Feed Raleigh.
Okay, next one. Peter says, seed-wise, we're probably at a 6 at worst now, right? A 5 with the win
I think
against
they're
6
OSU,
at
maybe
worst.
even move up to a 4? Question mark.
I think their floor right now is a 5. I think a win, and you have a very strong case for a 4 seed. I think a loss, and you're a 6. Because although Oregon State is your conference champ, their resume, that's probably a Q2 loss at this point now. That might be enough to move you down to a 6. But even still, I mean, we're talking 4 to 6 range. This feels fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what I said last night, but then you said no.
Well, yeah, but the vibes
Oh,
are
the
different.
vibes.
The vibes are different
Riding the
now.
vibes. I
Riding
think
the
they have a
vibes.
great chance to become a 4 seed,
Yeah, me too.
especially after the double-digit win tomorrow night.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking for the next question. We've
Really
got
slipped
just
that
a
one
lot
in.
of talk.
This Goliath that Colorado State is playing against also knocks down his free throws.
Michael says, Hank,
Yeah.
why
What's he doing
on
in Mount
earth
West?
are you in a Montana t-shirt on game day?
Because Montana was in a semifinal game, which nobody expected. They actually made it a decent game after being down 45 to 11 or so. I wish
rep
I
the
had
alma mater.
worn it. It's reminding me. Yep.
Gotta rep the alma mater.
Yep.
Okay,
It's sad.
Also, great branding, Montana.
Yes, they do really well.
Yep.
Brian says, don't feel sorry for CSU, but feel for Justin Michael. I like his content. Brian, that's how we feel, of course.
That is literally the experience we all have with CSU. We're like, yeah, screw them, but Justin, he's so nice.
But Justin's
We've had
so
this
nice.
conversation
He creates
over
great
and over.
content. Like,
Oh my God, did
it's
you
been
see
a
that?
rough few years for
I know.
them.
It was
and
awful.
for Justin. So, like, it's weird because we do have a soft spot for Justin
Mm-hmm.
and his content and everything he does for DNVR. But
We were talking about earlier, and when Antonio Alfano said that he was transferring, and I had to go into the production team group chat and be like, "Hey guys, can we get a graphic for this?" And then they all want to the Ram fans want to talk shit about the Buffs, and so then I have to be like, "Okay, congrats on your 1 4-star ever and all that." But then when you say it, you're like, "I feel bad for Justin because he deserves none of this."
Yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't ask for it.
No.
and all of his constituents just cause it to be
Yes.
put on him.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right, Colorado State absolutely deserves to lose this game. I've never.
So many blown
They have
chances.
no idea what they're doing.
well, they had scored 5 points in the first 8 minutes of the game.
They literally just keep running into this behemoth and trying, like, little guys are just running into and just getting swatted by
That's
this
like a bull block.
He looks like he's 7, 8.
That is
He
incredible.
looks like he's like Bull playing with.
If Bull
The Rams.
like was only in the gym for like 2 straight years, like I don't know if it's just the perspective here because they're so small, but it's unbelievable. They just keep running into this guy and he just keeps sending all their shots 5 rows deep.
All right, we do have a real question.
Oh, I love questions.
Biggest concern tomorrow against Oregon State?
You know, I'm going to say that my biggest concern... Yep, I'm going to say it because I'm committed. It's what's going to happen in the final couple minutes. And I know that it's all about the wins and losses, but this is back-to-back nights that Colorado has had bigger leads with 2 or 3 minutes ago than they had at the end of the game. And that's not a trend that you like. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but it's on my mind after seeing it twice in a row.
Yeah, it's really I don't know. Tonight it's really hard for me to like blame anyone. USC just started throwing in great
Garbage
shots.
shots.
They did.
Yeah, I mean they weren't great shots, but they were great shots once they went in.
That is who Tajidi is.
Yeah, and so I can't be like mad at someone. I can't say like, oh, the late game execution was bad. Offensively, yes, they could have done better, but that's just what happens. Like, you're trying to run the clock down, you get one shot, you hope it goes in. Sometimes it doesn't, but when you have a 10-point lead, you're not expecting them to go hit 3 ridiculous shots on the other end. Evan Mobley hits a 3, which he hadn't done all night. Like, it's just, there's some bad luck at the end. So, I'm with you, though. Like, it's something you'll have a close eye on when the Buffs have a 10-point lead late in the game tomorrow.
Yes. And the other thing you worry about is Ethan Thompson. He's really good, and he's
How tall is he?
he's listed 6'5".
Okay.
This is-
so Eli Parquet can
Yep.
handle that matchup.
I was going to say, like, if Colorado wins the Pac-12 tournament, you know that the player of the tournament is going to be Mckinley Wright. But if they win, Eli Parquet is your 1B because he is the reason you got there from his defense, and that's it. But my biggest concern right now, and this is just kind of conjecture, but how is McKinley Wright going to feel when he wakes up? Because right now, dude is straight vibing. He's probably full of adrenaline and not feeling it all that much. This is now your 3rd game in as many days, and you've been diving on the floor. You've been taking some big hits. You just hope he's able to rest up and be okay to give it one more go. Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, I think conference tournaments, conference championships are exponentially more important than anything that happens in the postseason, whether it be making the college football playoff, whether it be trying to make a Final Four run. I think if you win your conference, that is just such a crowning achievement that no one can take away from you. And that just means so much. And I just hope, as you said earlier, RK, that they just deserve it so much.
They really do. And I love it. I love the fact that they have this opportunity because, right now there is a mural that's like bigger than this entire studio that commemorates the last time they won a Pac-12 championship.
Yep.
Like, this team deserves something like that up on the walls of the Coors Event Center or the Colorado Event Center, whatever it's called now.
CU Event Center.
CU Event Center. Yeah,
Come
it's
on now.
always the keg to me. But like, that's the type of stuff that I want for this team, and they have such a great opportunity tomorrow. I mean, everything has broken the right way for them. Now all they have to do is finish. Just play Colorado basketball. That's all they have to do.
Okay.
I'm so ready to spend a month's worth of salary on Pac-12 champion gear. Just get it done for me.
Yeah.
All right. Bean says, did we luck out or miss out with the Oregon State win?
It's a good thing.
Luck out.
It's a good
luck
thing.
out, yeah.
You don't like going up against a team that's like in the Cinderella situation, and maybe even that's a stretch because Oregon State did finish as the number 5 team. They earned a bye and they beat the number 4 team. It was shocking to some people, but I had it in my bracket, so I'll flex on that again. I didn't have them beating Oregon, but that is a good basketball team. And all year, the narrative kind of was there's 4 teams at the top of the Pac-12, the 2 LA schools, Colorado and Oregon. Oregon State hasn't been in that conversation. I still don't know that they are one of those top 4 teams in terms of talent, but they're playing well, and it's going to be a challenge.
It's of course going to be a challenge. It's a championship game.
Yep.
But in terms of championship games, they got a really good draw. They really did get a really good draw. You know, Oregon is a team who someone could probably make the case that they're better than Colorado. Some people would probably try to make that case. But no one is trying to make the case that Oregon State's better than Colorado. Like, the Buffs go into tomorrow as the heavy favorite. And I would guess they're probably going to be a 5 to 6 point favorite. And so, yeah, it would have been 1 to 2 either way if they were playing Oregon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything
Okay.
else?
Next question?
Yes. Sorry, I saw a tweet that has me very confused. Okay. So how would you guys say
Probably
this?
Francois.
Francois
Francois
Simmons.
says, football quick aside, how funny was Nebraska today?
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Like I said on Twitter, you can't spell Scott Frost without S-O-F-T.
Yep. I mean, you literally cannot lose a game in March. But this feels basically like losing a game. Like Nebraska just came out and said, if we play Oklahoma, we will not win, so we would like to just not do that. And to have this story coming up in
So
March,
good.
like this is legitimately them taking a loss in college football in March, and it is just I don't know.
It's impressive.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gosh.
I was so confused because
One
someone
last swat for the monster to just end the game. Colorado State had absolutely no business winning that game. That was terrible.
I was confused because someone verified and who covers basketball tweeted that the game tomorrow was at 4 p.m. and I was like, did they move it? So I was looking it up. Nope, it's at 8:30. So just wanted to double check because everyone in the comments
Yeah.
like didn't say anything and they were like, oh yeah, that's the basketball, that's Pac-12, and I was like, excuse me, did we miss something? But 8:30, guys. I just checked Pac-12 website. Okay, Big Man Buff says, what makes this Oregon State team so good?
Ethan Thompson is where it starts.
I would stop you before saying this Oregon State team is so good. I think they're a good team. I think they're a good basketball team. They're very well coached. They have a really good player in Ethan Thompson. They have nice size. They're built the right way, and they have some shooters.
Better or worse than Stanford?
They're better.
I think so
they're
too.
better.
Yeah.
But that's coming from a position though, like when Colorado just kicked Stanford's ass twice.
We do have a weird perspective.
So I think we're a little bit biased against Stanford, but I do think they're better than Stanford. I really put them along. They're not better than USC.
No, they are not.
But I mean, I want to give some credit because their starting 5 is, I mean, just going through here, obviously, as you guys touched on, Jared Lucas and Ethan Thompson. But there's 2 guys that don't get a lot of credit, and one of them is Alatishe.
Really good player.
He's very, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but you don't really need to worry about a perimeter shot from him. But he's wildly athletic.
Yeah.
He can get to the rim. And then you've also got
He
Zach
can protect
Reichel.
the rim.
And Zach Reichel is a fantastic shooter as well as kind of like a third option. To me, Zach Reichel kind of fills that Deshan Schwartz X-Factor role. So on paper, these teams do match up fairly well. Talent-wise, no. They're not as talented as USC. They're not as talented as Oregon is. And, I mean, quite frankly, I still can't get over the fact that Oregon couldn't take care of business. Their defense, and as we talked about when we were watching it, their press, their trap, so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But, it just wasn't meant to be for the Ducks today. Oregon State, there's just something weird inside of me that's making me a little nervous about this game. I recorded that Oregon State game. I'm going to go back tomorrow morning and rewatch it and kind of collect my thoughts on them. But from what I saw today, no, they're not as talented, but they're playing as well as anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have an idea, but I'm going to wait until we're off camera to ask you guys about it.
Okay, Brian is asking, what's the Howl Hot stat of the day?
Oh, my God. How's hot?
Yeah.
What was it? How's hottest hits? How's
yeah.
hot hits?
Howl Hot hit.
Well, Ryan pulls this up. That
Should we take our
Nemius
final
Queta.
shot?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do another shot. But
Nemias? Nemius?
The guy who basically ended Colorado State's potentially season, depending on how the Selection Sunday goes. He had 8 blocks in that game.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, I've never seen anything like it. They just kept running into it.
8 blocks.
Like, you know that scene in Austin Powers where he gets the thing stuck? He's trying to, like, parallel park his way out of the thing, but it's just going...
Yeah.
That was Colorado State just running into him on both sides of the floor. This man was just bodying them left and right. Like, if you are someone who enjoys watching Colorado State look like little brother, just watch this game. It's unbelievable to watch this man just grown man them out of any chance of winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank
That's
you.
why we're drinking for anyone who's tuning in now.
I do think this popped the bubble for Colorado State. For anybody who cares and is on the kind of the national March Madness trends, I think both of these teams, it was a win-and-in situation. So,
all right. Howell has some really hot hits tonight, so I'm just gonna let him
Fire him off.
I'm just gonna let these fly. Okay. Update on Colorado's pursuit of the Division I free throw percentage record. They currently sit at 83.1%, which is 0.9% higher than Harvard, who sits at 82.2%. So there we go. Keep that rolling. Career wins for Mckinley Wright against Pac-12 opponents. Against USC, he has 7, which is the most. He owns USC. ASU and Cali has 6. UCLA and Washington State, he has 5. Another Howell's hottest hits here. Most single-game points in Pac-12 tournament history for Colorado. You had a 31-piece for Derek White against Arizona in 2017, a 26-piece for Derek White in that same tournament against Washington State. And tonight, third most points ever scored by a Colorado player in a Pac-12 tournament game, Mckinley Wright with 24. Whew. And a couple more here. God, he's got a lot of good ones. This is just the second time in 9 Pac-12 tournaments that the final will not include either the 1 or the 2 seed. The last time it happened, in 2012, Colorado won it.
Wow.
Colorado tried to do it again on Saturday.
but what seed was Colorado that year?
5.
And what seed is Oregon State?
I don't care.
I'm
Pac-12 tournament wins 2012 through 2021. The Buffs ranked 4th in the conference with 10 Pac-12 tournament wins.
I retweeted that one.
2 more coming here. Colorado men's basketball conference tournament title game appearances. Just 3. This is the third time. This will be the third time in Colorado program history. 1990, they lost to Oklahoma. In 2012, what an ugly game. They beat Arizona 53-51.
A win's a win.
A win is a win, and that was all defense. That's what I really love about this team. They remind me of that team in the way that they can really get a stop when they need it. And then finally, most 20-point games at the Pac-12 tournament for Colorado. All-time leader in program history, Mckinley Wright, with 3. For some of the other names, Askia Booker, George King, and Derek White each had 2.
Wow.
That has been Howell's hottest hits.
So many hits. So many hits.
So many hits.
Any more questions?
Thank you, Michael.
You're-
Yes, we have a good amount left. What keeps going wrong for the Buffs? Why can we never put these games away?
I've only seen them put games away.
It's true. True. They have put the games away when the
absolutely-
time came.
Look, again, last night was a totally different issue than tonight. So it's the same. It's 2 different symptoms of the same problem. Tonight it was just classic March shit. Like, the team's fighting for their life. They just throw in threes, except for Colorado State, who apparently couldn't throw in anything. I watched them miss like 7 threes at the end of that game. It was embarrassing. Anyways, sometimes good players in big moments just make shots, and that's what happened tonight.
We might need to get you a CSU postgame show.
I'm just, my mind is boggled by how bad they were.
Your reaction to everything CSU, I think people would love.
You would enjoy that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Zach. Oh.
Well, I just add. I love. What was the point of going to zone though?
I
That's
loved
what
it.
Zach
It worked.
Yeah, it did work, but also that was the other difference tonight is that USC went to that zone, and that kind of shut down the offense. There were other things going on,
Won't happen tomorrow.
starting your possessions late because you're trying to run some clock. That'll make it tougher, but I don't know. You don't love to see it.
Why zone? For a couple of reasons. 1, they threw it on you. Why not throw it on them? Just see what happens. I thought USC did a terrible job executing against that zone. I would have done it again. Another reason, now Oregon State has to talk about it tonight.
True. Very
And
true.
That's just annoying. Like, okay, what do we do if Colorado throws the zone? Colorado never goes zone. You would never, ever prepare for zone when you're playing Colorado. Now you have to.
I like that. And I'm glad you brought that up because that is huge. The fact that they are going to make them think about that.
I mean, I love what you said, Ryan, about, last night and tonight, totally different. A mental lapse like that 6-point swing last night against Cal would have lost you the game tonight. But tonight, that comeback had nothing to do with how you were playing. Tajidi just splashed a couple of big threes, and then, they were hitting weird runners. How Colorado had to attack the USC zone, it was clear. Get the ball to Jeriah Horn at the free throw line. And it took them a couple possessions to really get in that groove. But once they did, Jeriah Horn hit one of them, and then USC stopped because they were, Colorado knows how to attack it now, and they know Jeriah Horn, and Jeriah Horn is money from those elbow jumpers. So as soon as they were able to figure out a way to do it, they broke it down. If Oregon State wants to try and throw the same thing at them tomorrow night, I think Colorado will be ready for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have another question? Well, let's do it. There is no containing Jocelyn Tinkle.
Jocelyn.
She may be the single greatest force in Pac-12 basketball at the moment. With Evan Mobley out of the tournament, I think she has to be.
Yeah.
Seriously, those guys over there, they were actually talking to, I think it was Ethan Thompson after the game about, like, what's it like having those guys? And it's like, it's huge. Having the Tinkle family just screaming their heads off and actually giving some good coaching tips during the game when they're, like, at the end of the court that Wayne isn't on. It's a factor. It's a factor.
I guess it's a fact.
It's a factor.
You don't contain her.
It's a factor.
You don't. She's uncontainable.
Yeah. Ellie, too. She doesn't get quite as much credit, and Jocelyn deserves more credit, but yeah. Next question, Ellie.
Okay, so why do I keep
Francois.
I don't know why. It's because my brain's in Spanish. Says it's the keg regardless of what sponsor they get. That is true. Elliot says Pac-12 Network interviewed McKinley after the game, and he said, I feel better. I got a little headache. It'll probably be throbbing tonight, but I'll be all right, man.
King
Warrior.
Michael says, when can we expect to see a DNVR bracket challenge?
Soon, my friend, soon. Our March Madness coverage is really going to be lights out. We're going to have a live show on Selection Sunday. We're going to lead up to the bracket reveal, so we're going to go live probably about 30 minutes beforehand to play some fun games. Then we'll be live reacting as the regions drop. After that, we'll take a break, do some media time, see what Colorado is going to face, and then we'll get back on. And then outside of Selection Sunday, myself, Henry, Justin, we're going to be going live every morning of that first weekend. And yeah, as you mentioned, a DNVR bracket challenge. So we're going to have a members only bracket challenge so you can go and compete. We're going to have prizes with merch, other fun stuff. It's going to be a fun time. The return of college basketball and the return of March Madness this year is bringing lots of fun DNVR stuff with it.
Any thoughts on Alatishe? Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. And he's going to be a force, and he brings something that the Buffs don't really have, which is just a super long, bouncy, athletic wing.
What about Bari? Do you think he could fit that role?
Yes. He's just not as, bouncy.
Yeah.
Yet.
So, Jabari Walker was really quiet tonight. Maybe that's a good sign for him to be a little louder tomorrow.
Most people are quiet when they're going up against Evan Mobley.
Yes, exactly.
He did have the one challenge in the paint where he backed him down and tried to have a hook shot, and it just got smacked back into his face.
Just a little naive.
Just a little bit.
That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. I'm so
You
glad
learn.
there's no Evan Mobleys anymore.
Okay.
Seriously.
Next question. Big Man Buff said, seems like Horn was the X factor tonight. Will he be it again tomorrow? Schwartz.
Can you just bring it up so we can see it instead of trying to hear
Deshan
you? There
is
we go.
always the X factor.
Deshaun's always the X factor. Horn is too good to be an X factor. What I mean is,
Consistent.
I need 14 from him tomorrow.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah, if he scores 30, then he was the X factor. But if Deshaun gives you 12, he was the X factor.
Yep.
And I think that's what he had tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Schwartz for X Factor, but you do wonder if you're going to get a couple big threes from Eli tomorrow.
That's what I was about to say.
Eli.
If Eli gets a little bit of offense going, and that's not even anything close to double digits, 3-5 points, that would be huge, because if he can do that and still shut down Ethan Thompson and Jared Lucas like he has been the other guards throughout this tournament, I mean it. He had as a legitimate case to be, one of this team's most important players.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, Elliot said in Allie, are you sure the 4 p.m. tweet wasn't about the Mountain West game? Yes, he said USC CU just finished this game and are expected to play again tomorrow at 4 p.m. So he stated CU and
Expected?
USC.
We don't...
Or, what do you mean?
In
like,
what
you
world?
shouldn't have said, yeah.
I didn't, I just...
Oh, you're
I'm not
paraphrasing?
reading it word for
Okay.
word what he said, but he stated CU and USC just finished this game. Ryan, who gave us the super shot, said, "Night kids, enjoy my shot."
I have a put back dunk to go dream of.
And I still don't have a Bill Walton quacking alarm to wake up to.
Left-handed game-winning put back dunk. I realize he's left-handed, but it still is just like,
It was so unexpected.
I know.
Yeah,
We're kind of all just like ball watching, like it goes up and you think it's gonna go. Like when it left his hand, I thought it was going in, and then just like slow motion, it hits there, and
Yeah.
out of nowhere, here comes Deshan Schwartz with wings.
I didn't
That's
even know who it
exactly what
was.
USC thought. I mean,
Yeah.
Buff says, if you're Oregon State, would you consider playing a 2-3 zone? Sorry, I was muted. If you're at Oregon State, would you consider playing a 2-3 zone to start tomorrow?
I mean, this season, Colorado's been better against the zone. Tonight, no. But it was
Buffs are
also
gonna- yeah.
when they twisted their defense at the very end of the game. It's always going to take a couple of possessions to adjust.
The Buffs are going to be completely ready for a 2-3 zone.
Yeah.
They will spend, I don't know how much time they're going to spend tomorrow going over film and whatnot, but they will go over the film of their own 2-3 zone offense, and they'll be fine.
if I'm Oregon State and if I'm Colorado, I'm not doing anything different out the gates than what I've been doing all year. So if Washington were playing this game, I'm not going to say, Washington should play man to try and confuse Colorado. No,
Right.
I think zone is a nice trick to pull out if you need to generate some stops, but I don't anticipate it being a frequent occurrence tomorrow.
Most coaches use it as a little bit of a desperation tactic,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Like, you need some stops. Okay, here's one card that we have. Like, you have the press, you have the zone, just something to throw at them to confuse them for like 2 straight possessions.
Yep.
Yeah. Next question. Wow.
That is
Alright.
it.
An
I think-
extra lit night in the chat.
An extra lit night in the chat. And hopefully tomorrow is an extra lit night in the chat.
Hopefully.
Please be
I'm
Hopefully,
excited.
we
What-
are
talking about
just going crazy.
your Colorado Buffaloes being Pac-12 champions this time tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood.
This team just deserves it so much.
They really do.
They deserve it so much.
Oh, we got a
And
final question.
They have all of their dreams right laid out in front of them in pretty neat and tidy fashion. They just got to take care of business tomorrow. If the Buffs go out there and they are the Buffs, they play who they are, they will win the game.
I agree. I
You said
agree.
one last question?
Yes. Final score predictions from each of you.
76-65.
68-64.
69-56.
Nice.
Thanks.
You can't choose a more blowout than me.
I'm sorry.
fine. Ride the
13
train.
points. 13 points.
okay, yeah.
69-56. We all have Colorado winning?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just figured we should clarify. That's going to do it for today. We will be back tomorrow after the Buffs play.
Woo!
Tip-off is scheduled for 8:30 on ESPN against Oregon State with the Pac-12 Championship on the line. What more could you ask for? What a way to start the postseason. Obviously, there's a whole nother tournament on the way, but it's pretty cool to see these guys actually go out there and win these games and put themselves in this position.
Let's get it done. Let's go
do
Buffs.
it. Let's
Woo!
do it.
Let's get it done, and we will see you guys tomorrow night after the game.